Hey everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow out of Diagnostics. We're at a local construction site, I guess, and they called me in on this 2009 Chevy Silverado 3500 HD. Now, this is an out-of-state contractor truck, apparently from North Carolina. Look at the frame. There's zero frame rust, and look at the odometer. This thing has 421,000 miles on it. Apparently it just stalled out here in town at an intersection. They had it towed here and they need it back on the road ASAP. So let's try to figure this one out. I haven't cranked it yet. Apparently it's a crank no start. Let's obviously scan it for codes, and we have P0016 crankshaft camshaft position correlation. Now with this many miles, is it possible that the timing chain snapped? Perhaps. Let's just look at the live data. Look at the cam and crank counters. It should be under ignition. There's camshaft position sensor, crankshaft position sensor, active counters, engine speed. Let's just look at those. Let's crank it, see what it sounds like. Okay. Something's really wrong. Resync counter, I don't know what that means, but it looks like the crank and the cam did both spin. Let me try that one more time. That does not sound normal. I suspect something is wrong with the timing chain. Either it jumped time. With this many miles, I would not be surprised. What's the quickest and easiest way to 100% tell if the cam and crank are in time or not? Well, we could do a cam to crank correlation, sure, and compare it to a known good, or I just want to pop out one spark plug, put an in-cylinder pressure transducer in this thing. If if the waveform is not a classic, compression waveform, we're done. This thing needs a timing job. It could have bent valves. I don't know if these are interference engines, the LS engines, but it looks like the timing chain's still there because the camshaft does spin. But if it's set a correlation code and it sounds like this cranking, we're not getting this truck back on the road. No parts required. Well, I took the number one spark plug out. It is soaked with gasoline. Gap doesn't look terribly big. You know where this is going. Let's put a pressure transducer in here, see if we have any compression at all. Alright, pressure transducer is in cylinder number 1. I got the spark plug grounded. Let's set up the scope real quick. Alright, here we go. I'll even do wide open throttle. PSI. Now, this is already telling us all we need to know. So let's say we have compression. It should come down to the same level, but the exhaust valve is opening. This is completely wrong. So let's say exhaust, intake. It might have gotten washed down with fuel because the vacuum pocket is going much further. Actually, it doesn't look bad, does it? Something's happening. The valves are definitely operating. And there's no vacuum in the intake manifold because the engine's not running. And it's losing a lot of compression because the cylinders are washed down with fuel. So let's not jump to conclusions yet. Let me save this waveform and we'll check for spark. Alright, go ahead, crank it over. Yeah, we definitely have spark. We have some compression.
We have fuel and we have spark.
Yeah, we have some compression, but maybe it's not enough. So now I'm going to sync the spark with where our top dead center is, and we'll see if we're close enough.
500.
So we saw a nice spark at the spark plug. We definitely have fuel, and it seems like we have some compression. Why is this thing not starting? So I want to see if the spark is occurring close to top dead center. So I'm going to crank it over, and on the scope I set up 2 channels, the pressure transducer and just a capacitive pickup. So let's see. Okay. Spark is occurring right near TDC. What the heck is going on with this Chevy? 50 PSI isn't great, but see how much leakage there is out of the cylinder. It's definitely washed down. Let me try a clear flood crank, see if we can get this fuel cleared out of the cylinders. Alright, I'm just going to floor it and crank it, see if we can clear these cylinders out. You can see there's some compression coming out of my hose. Alright, I'm going to need to put a jump pack on this thing. Alright, we got the XL7 doing charging duty. We should be up to 13 volts now. Just floor it, crank it. Okay. Wow. How did this thing get flooded? Alright, spark plug is in. Let's just clear all the codes out. No codes. I'm just going to fire it up normally. Sounds lean and mean. Wow. It runs super smooth. I don't know if this thing's on its original engine or not, but if it is in the transmission, that's impressive. Read fault code right now. Look at that, no codes. I'm going to jump out of here. Actually, let me just clear all the other ones. We'll have to take this thing for a test drive. Just want to look at basic OBD2 data. Just look at the fuel trims. Because we don't want these guys to stall out on their way back to North Carolina. Coolant temp, RPM, take air temp, long-term trims, short-term trims. Look at that, from -10 to 30. Engine coolant temp is at -40. Now I think I know why that is. Oh, is it coming back? It's all over the place. So that actually might be an issue. Maybe this is why they stalled and fouled out. Is because the coolant temp sensor right here connector's completely busted is you just have 2 pins. It's minus 40, and look what the fuel trims do. This is what's going to stall it out. This is crazy. It's running like garbage now. Let's see what the oxygen sensors are doing. Starting to lope. Pegged high. I don't know why the upstreams are at 0. We plug in the coolant temp sensor the best I can. (302), so this sensor's messed up. Okay, so this is awesome. Let's shut it off, fix that coolant temp sensor. Alright, so I got the pins plugged in, and it does pass a wiggle check. So let's clear the codes if it has any. Read fault code, should have like a coolant sensor. Yep. So clear fault code, yes. Back to live data. I wish TOPDON showed or kept the data PIDs here. Short term bank 1 and bank 2. Bank 1 sensor, I guess it does not have downstream sensors, so bank 1 sensor 1, bank 2 sensor 1. Let's see what happens. Didn't run. We'll let it warm up a little bit. I don't like that the fuel trims are at 24% there. But we'll let the oxygen sensors warm up first. Alright, so we're still running super lean. Look at that, maxed out fuel trims. Coolant temp seems to be happy. Why are the upstream sensors reading 0s? Let's look at the downstreams. The downstreams are actually online. So I think the upstream sensors are both dead when they warm up, and the downstreams are still okay. Now the fuel trims are disabled, so this truck needs some work, but at least it runs. I forgot to plug the number 1 plug wire in, so let's clear fault codes one more time. Okay, read live data one more time. We're going to see if we are going to call these oxygen sensors or not. Long terms, all 4 sensors. Short terms, engine RPM. We'll do mass airflow and coolant temp. Alright, so we're starting at 0s on all the trims. Let's fire it up. So bank 1 sensor 1, bank 2 sensor 1, see they go to 0 while the downstreams go super rich. Now the fuel trims are going to start jacking up, so this is a problem. Let's unplug the upstream oxygen sensors here, because this is not good. Alright, got the two upstream oxygen sensors unplugged. Let's clear fault code one more time to reset the fuel trims. Read live data, do the same mass airflow, engine RPM, coolant temp, long-term trims, all four oxygen sensors. I expect to see a bias voltage on the upstreams now. Yep, 0.45. Right there, bank 1 sensor 1, bank 2 sensor 1. So they're all at the bias voltage. Let's fire it up. We might have to do a fuel trim reset. See, the downstreams are still pegged out. Let's read fault code. Yep, 2 heater codes, that's fine. Clear fault code, yes. And then live data, I want to see these fuel trims go to 0. They're still at 25%. Let's get into GM and reset them. So in the ECM, special function, let's do fuel trim reset. Alright, so after that fuel trim reset, 4 oxygen sensors and all the fuel trims are 0, so we're going to graph those. Let's fire it up. You'll see the sensor 2s are heating up just fine. Sensor 1s are unplugged. So I don't even know if it's going to go in a closed loop or not. We're definitely not running lean, as the downstreams are 0.9, but it's running much smoother. So to get better fuel economy, obviously they'll have to replace the upstream sensors, but the truck is mostly happy. We'll take it up and down the street here. We'll call it fixed for now. It'll just run an open loop. Alright, here we go. A little test drive. Chevy Thunder. Look at our oxygen sensors there. So we're just using the downstreams and they're working. About 850, so it's not full rich, but on the rich side. So we're in good shape. All the fuel trims are obviously 0 in open loop. Coolant temp 200 degrees, no dropouts. So we fixed that problem, at least temporarily, and made the truck run 100% better. So that was a pretty crazy diagnosis. Did not expect that whatsoever. We jumped to conclusions. We saw the P0016 trouble code. It cranked really funny, like it had no compression. With 420,000 miles, your gut is going to tell you, yeah, something's wrong with that timing chain. It's probably snapped. But we followed the data, and guess what? Truck is back on the road. No parts required. Negative parts required. Unhooked 2 sensors. I just love that about this field. You never know what the conclusion is going to be. And, you know, it's fun to follow your gut, but then back it up. And the data showed that, hey, we do have compression, but it's so flooded that it was losing compression. Clear flood mode got it started, and then from there we saw why it was flooded to begin with. So, hope everyone enjoyed that one. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Oh, a little bonus footage. So the customer here who hired the contractors got in the truck to back it up. He was in reverse and it stalled out. So good thing I didn't leave yet. Let's rescan it, see why it stalled. Alright, so in OBD2 mode, we should have our heater and oxygen sensor codes. Bank 1 sensor 1, bank 2 sensor 1 heater control, Pending, 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 no activity. Okay. Why did this truck stall? Let's read live data. Throttle position, coolant temp, RPM, and the trims are going to be at 0. Mass airflow, and the oxygen sensors, I want to read the downstream. So sensor 2 and sensor 2. Graph that. Let's fire it up. Okay. So I'm put it in gear. Okay, just stalled out right there. Let's fire back up. So running rich. Put it back in reverse. Let's see, will it do it in drive? Put in drive. Okay. Now it did have some transmission codes before when we first scanned it. Put it in reverse. Okay, it's almost like the transmission has a little too much drag on it. Let's fire it up again. So it does start up every time. That's good. Let's get into GM and see if the transmission is fussing about anything at all. Alright, so it's just beginning the smart scan. We do have 2 codes in the TCM. Transmission fluid pressure TFP switch 1 circuit low voltage. That's definitely going to cause a problem with the it feels like the torque converter is not unlocking. So there's a transmission problem for sure. We can check the fluid level, but this truck's going to be hard to drive around town if it keeps stalling out at lights. But at least it restarts, the engine runs fine.